Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another episode of Rise, Struggle, History and Development of Bangladesh. August of 1947. The British Empire finally collapsed after its 200 years rules, leading to the birth of two multi-ethnic countries, India and Pakistan. But not all agreed on the homological drawn borders, and the failure to build truly inclusive societies resulted in a number of movements for self-determination. Some fought for autonomy, some fought for independence. But above all, only one succeeded. This is the story of resolve and resilience. This is the story of Bangladesh.
In the northeastern part of India is the province of Bengal. Its area is 76,843 square miles.
For thousands of years, the people of East Bengal lived only on the margin of history. The center of power shifted from Calcutta to Delhi and later to Karachi. Being ignored for centuries, the aspiration of this land finally settled in a decisive liberation war of 1971.
Nobody should try to suppress the 70 million people. When they are determined to achieve something, nobody can suppress them. Today, tomorrow, or day after tomorrow. They must win.
After 9 months of war, victory came on 16th December, when Pakistan surrendered with 93,000 soldiers, the biggest ever surrender after World War II. Shortly after independence, skeptics took Bangladesh as just another edition of the growing list of failed states. However, defying all odds, Bangladesh held itself through the damage of war and moved well ahead of its South Asian peer in most areas. In last 50 years, poverty shrank by almost 80%. In 1972, the per capita income of Bangladesh was 61% below that of Pakistan. Recent number, however, shows that Bangladesh has exceeded Pakistan by whopping 62% in 2020. The GDP growth rate was just 2.5% in 1972, hit a record of 8.15% in 2019. Export earning increased by 111% over 50 years. Bangladesh was one of the 3 countries in the world where economy grew even during the COVID-19 pandemic. The country is set to emerge as the 25th largest economy by 2035. Very recently, Bangladesh is found reflecting its economic muscle. In June 2021, Bangladesh offered Sri Lanka $200 million in line of credit. The same year, it also donated $7.66 million to rebuild Sudan's economy. If the economic success of Bangladesh is remarkable, then its social transformations are nothing short of revolutionary. Since 1990, the value of Bangladesh Human Development Index increased by 60.4%. Life expectancy soared from 46.5 years in 1972 to 72.8 years in 2021. For the last 7 years, Bangladesh was even outperforming all other South Asian nations in the global gender gap index. 72% female literacy rate is higher than that of India's and Pakistan's. In 2015, the World Bank lifted Bangladesh's status from a low-income country to a middle-income country. In 2018, Bangladesh achieved all the conditions to graduate from least development country or LDC status. This is the first time a country is graduating from LDC status by fulfilling all 3 required conditions. So, behind such spectacular success story, was there any magic ingredients in the mix? Not necessarily. The key is sweat and sacrifices of its own people. The country's economical transformation was driven mostly by social changes, starting with the empowerment of women. Bangladesh's female participation in the labor force is 36% higher than Pakistan's 21.9% and India's 21.5%. Bangladesh also has a fairly young population with 70% of age below 40 years. With 10.5 annual growth rate in the middle affluent population, the internal market of Bangladesh is also one of the fastest growing in the world. Partnering with the public sector, Bangladesh has digitalized social security and financial services, taking to the very doorstep of the poor and the needy.
It is not only in the urban society. We give more importance to the rural society, because I believe that we should give more attention to the rural area. Our development should come from the grassroots level. Then it can be sustainable.
The country is also heavily equipped to attract foreign direct investments. Building economic zones and technology-based industrial parks all over the country, a good number of large well connectivity projects also been adopted in last decade. Bangladesh is now on the verge of major infrastructural revolution. Like any other country in the world, Bangladesh is not utopia. Its development journey was disrupted by natural disaster, famine, coup, counter-coup, and military rules. Besides, income inequality and social disparity have widened in recent times. Climate change has also become an obvious threat. In the coming days, the success of Bangladesh will depend on how it handles its loss of preferential trade agreement status after its official declaration of LDC graduation in 2026. However, despite all challenges, Bangladesh these days can hardly be ignored, thanks to the economic might and the country's unique geographical position. Stories of sweat and sacrifices has transformed Bangladesh from a bottomless basket to a basket of surprises. As Bangladesh celebrates its 50 years of independence, its miraculous rise keeps the hope up for the struggling nations and assures that with patience and right policies, it does get better. That's all for today. See you in the next video. Jai Bangla, Jai Bangabandhu.